Hey, you! Yeah, you! Do you want to get better Pokemon Nuzlocke? Well, your fools came to the wrong place. You see, I recently decided to do my first ever normal Pokemon Nuzlocke, and boy did things go wrong. From getting self-destruct crit, losing Pokemon to wild encounters, and getting party wiped by men with a smell fetish, there was no shortage of me getting my butt handed to me. So I decided, rather than showing people how Nuzlocke ought to be done, I decided to show people what they shouldn't do. I hope you find my journey entertaining and questionably helpful. I'll quickly drop the rules here. The first thing you should not do in Nuzlocke is not use rare candy. Why? Because a wise man once said,
grinding is cringe and cheating is based.
Please note, I'm not actually a pro amateur player, so some of my advice might actually be correct. Let the pain begin! Pokemon Fire Red / Leaf Green is considered by the community to be one of the easiest games to Nuzlocke. So, despite not being overly familiar with the pre-physical and special split, I decided to Nuzlocke Fire Red. Since my favorite Pokemon is Charizard, you would expect to pick Charmander as my starter, right? Nope! I decided to pick Ivan the Bulbasaur, because Bulbasaur is generally considered the best Nuzlocke starter. I'm sorry, my boy. After getting our starter, my rival with smell fellas, Jack, immediately challenged me to a Pokemon battle with the starter I chose to betray. Guess I really do smell. Pro tip, did you know Nuzlocke don't officially start until after you get the Pokeballs? I live with none about, doubters! We may have had a rough first bout, but trust me, I'm actually a good Nuzlocker. You want to know the difference between a good and bad Nuzlocker? You see, a gun will never get wiped under second era wild Pokemon encounter. Yeah, that's what I get for not paying attention, huh? This is a prime example of how not to Nuzlocke a Pokemon game. Now that our Nuzlocke has ended, I would like to take this opportunity to ask you to subscribe. Don't forget to stick it out to the very end for a review of all my mistakes. Also, guess what? That entire bit was just a distraction to divert your attention from the current run counter. I wonder how run 2 and 3 went. 2 failed runs later, it's time to put up run number 4. Okay guys, things may not be going as smooth as I hoped for, but I promise you, things will get better. Take this Rattata for example. Since Pokemon on Route 1 normally has a high crash rate, we can just throw a Pokeball from the get-go, and we'll probably capture it. We could try capture it by lowering his HP. However, we need to pray. No crit please, no crit. I did. You know, maybe I am bad at Nuzlocke. Thankfully, the game decided to give me another chance to capture Rattata, and boy, the redemption feel good. I decided to name this effing evil annoying rodent Jerry. Normally the second rival fight is mandatory, but not for Fire Red, so I'm just gonna walk away. On the next route over, I capture a large Pidgey, whom I decided to name Pudgy. In Viridian Forest, I performed the sacred Pikachu summoning ritual. Pika me, Pika Pika. And there's a Cappy. Great. Upon arriving at Pure City, I immediately head over to Brock's gym. As expected of Kanto's greatest Nuzlocke starter, I am sweeps for Brock's team. Easy Boulder Badge and TM39. Tombstone, Rock Tomb obtained. Now that Brock has been beaten, let's move on over to Mount Moon, home of the infinitely annoying Zubat. But first, a detour to a random patch of grass to capture a Mankey named Monkey. To my surprise, the capture wasn't one of the infinite Zubats in the cave, but my dude Geodude. Very original. Geodude in his evolution line is amazing for Lieutenant and Koga fight. Geodude's type that resists normal type damage and ignore electric damage from Lieutenant Surge. For Koga, Geodude will resist flying, poison, and normal type damage. Very useful if you do not want anything blowing up in your face. After some whipping on whipping action, we got intercepted by this nerd near the exit. Hey you, you're in the wrong game! Please just go back to Foster Fighter. Before leaving Mount Moon, anyone who is serious about Nuzlocke need to do this next step. Praise Lord Helix. Once I finish giving thanks to our Lord and Savior, Lord Helix, we rise to Cerulean City. And you know what that means? That's right, Another pointless rival fight. One pointless being later, I kindly told him to smell off. Next, I headed over to the previous route where I caught Talon, the Spearow. Then I proceeded to clear the Golden Nugget Bridge, where a man acting like a drug dealer tried to convince me to do some shady activities. After some convincing otherwise, I headed over to Bill's house, where I discovered he transcended the line between man and furry. As a reward for saving Bill Nye the tech guy over here, I got myself some exclusive cruise tickets. Oh, I also caught a piece of weed named Evans. Quite an odd name, ain't it? With the power of the best Nuzlocke seller ever, I bulldozed my way through Misty's team, earning me the Cascade badge. Moving forward, I captured a Meow, then hightailed it over to Vermilion City. Naturally, the first thing I did was ignore all the plebs in the city and head over to attend the super fancy party aboard SS On. Deciding everyone was too cringe for my taste, I skipped over to the captain's quarter. Unfortunately, the one person I wanted to skip was lying in waiting, in front of the captain quarters of all places. Sadly for Jack, I'm the better rat trainer here. Yep, I do know how to raise them. Rare candy style. Now, it's time to perform the sacred hungover recovery ritual. Rub-a-dub-dub, rub-a-tub-tub, rub. And that, my friend, is how you get cut in life. Now that I've accomplished my objective in this place, it's time to bid farewell to the SS On. Bye SS Annie. See you again next year. Can't wait to see you again next year. Now onward to Gym Puzzle Impossible. Like seriously, who the hell thought making a gym puzzle and RNG check was a good thing? Especially if the gym puzzle reset after failing the second RNG check. Well, as I got the trash cans keeping me company, the Lieutenant Surge fight begins, and Pikachu decides he wants to become Naruto. So many clones. After many disasters, Dude eventually found the real one. Once again, the fight came down to a rat v rat battle, and as you guessed it, the superior rat trainer won. To get the HM Flash, I needed to make my way through Diglett Cave. Using Axe Body Spray, we kept all the Diglets at bay, all except the big boss himself, Doug Trio. Normally I give it my all to capture some Pokemon, but I kinda ran out of Pokemon mid-encounter. Whoops. Make sure to always check your Pokeball supply Nuzlockers. Speaking of Nuzlocke tip, did you know there's something called the crit range? The crit range is basically the range of damage a Pokemon would take if the enemy crits, and generally, you want to avoid keeping a Pokemon within crit range in battle. Good Nuzlocker always plays around the crit range. The bad ones will lose their Pokemon, like so. While running around like a headless chicken in the rock tunnel, I encountered a Machop. And of course I forgot to refill my Pokeball supply. On the bright side, at least we now know the Rotom color was doomed from the very start. Immediately after escaping the rock tunnel, I got myself stuck in a corner with an old man. Brilliant move, fool! I finally arrived at the infamous Lavender Town. I gotta say, this thing is my jam. I mean, listen to how great it is. Funnily enough, despite being in town morality, I have yet to lose a Pokemon this run. I should give myself a pat on the back. Since there's nothing here to do, let's just skip over to Clefton City. Our first plan of action is to steal an Eevee and name it V. The best way to use an Eevee in a Nuzlocke is to save it for later. This is so Eevee can evolve into a form that rounds out your final team's weakness. After getting V, we had an old lady spill me some tea. Damn you, Clefairy, for blocking me. Pro gamer here. Sir? Standing sussily in front of a poster isn't gonna help you hide your base. After blasting off many rockets, I made my way to Giovanni. My first meeting with a Mafia boss started off like any regular first meeting. I frustrated at him. You know, for a criminal organization, your grunts just aren't very good. By the power of Flower Dino, I demolished Giovanni. Guess the grunts don't fall too far from the leader. Time to head over to the gym. And please guys, don't be as down bad as this guy over here. The Eureka battle was going pretty well, until her Vileplume evens the odds. Get it? Even the odds? I'll shut up now. Rainbows. Afterwards, I headed over to the left route and yoinked the HM Fly. Also, why the hell does using an HM on a Pokemon remind me of White Snake from JoJo? While I'm here, I decided to pick up Musketeer, the Duo. Also, please ignore the fact I completely misspelled his name. in the final resting place of Nuzlocke's Pokemon, I ran into my rival who was awfully cheerful for someone at a Pokemon graveyard. Especially so if the conspiracy theories are true. I found out the gas in the tower prefers cursing itself to death over eternal servitude under me. Damn, I really wanted to name it my social life. Some mommy problems there. I would lose the first Pokemon to run. Remember when I was patting myself in the back for not losing a Pokemon in Lavender Town? Well, I take that back. For a pretty stupid reason too. You see, the correct move here is to switch out Graveler with a faster Pokemon and run away after. Don't be a stubborn idiot like me and keep Geodude in. Otherwise, the Koga fight is gonna be more fun than it needs to be. After blasting some rockets out of Lavender Tower, I rescued Mr. Fuji and got the Pokeflute. Now, it's time to capture the big man himself, Snorlax. Snorlax is a really strong Pokemon for any Nuzlocke run with his exceptional bulk, solid attack stat, and his ability to sleep off any damage taken. It would suck for any Nuzlocker if they lose out on the Snorlax capture. Oh. On the bright side, there's a second Snorlax sleeping around, just in case it did mess up. Thank God I caught this one. I named him Couch, because I always wanted a Snorlax-shaped couch one day. Some Nuzlocks have a clause where it overwork Pokemon and give Pokemon count as an encounter for the area. I didn't apply that clause in this run, but this is something worth considering for new players. One lovely stroll down biker gang territory later, we're now in Fuchsia City. You know what that means. Time for a Safari Zone adventure. There are so many Pokemon here that can make my team really strong, like Chansey, Rhyhorn, Slowpoke, Dratini, Chansey. So the amazing place is a Parasect. And it ran away. Well, as I got Surf and some old teeth as a constellation prize. Despite a few hiccups in the run, it was smooth sailing. So you know what that means? Yep, it's time for things to go horribly wrong. I've infiltrated Ninja Master Koga's invisible maze, and nothing will have prepared me for what came next. What? What? Huh? That is just self-destruct crit. On the bright side, things couldn't possibly... Dude. At least things can't possibly get worse. There's so much crit hitting occurring in this game. Huh? Huh? What? You know what? This is totally my fault. I should have played around with the self-destruct crit, followed by a double crit, and a 30% poison rate. I'm surprised Snorlax took so much damage from a special attack. Hey, poison is physical type this generation. Wait, you're telling me poison is physical and not special before the split? And this is why it's important to know your split if you're Nuzlocking a game before Gen 4. I really wish I had my dude right about now. So, at a measly cost of 2 Pokemon, I obtained the Soul Stone. Now that ninjas are out of fashion, it's time for the next fad, martial artist. I entered Saffron City's gym, expecting to obtain a gym badge. To my disappointment, this mustard-head over here gave me Bruce Lee instead of a badge. Okay, time to go to the gym for real. Oh yeah, you guys exist. After setting off a festivity's worth of fireworks, we encountered our rival, Jack, in a sussy place, standing there, menacingly. Like seriously, what kind of rival waits in the middle of a mafia base, waiting for a rival that might not show up? This man deserves to be put into an asylum, and rightfully so, because this madman's Charizard burned Bruce Lee and Talon into a crisp. Fried chicken, anyone? You know, things are looking pretty bad when your run's last hope is a crippled Pudgy. Whew. Okay, crisis averted. Looking back now, I think the correct move was to sack Pudgy instead of Bruce Lee, since my only win condition was Pudgy hitting a quick attack for paralysis, and the loss of Bruce Lee was completely unnecessary. It may sound brutal, but knowing when to send your Pokemon to his death is an important skill to pick up. But hey, enough gloom and doom. Sure, I may have lost my dear comrade, Bruce Lee and Talon, but I gained something just as important. So you may be thinking, what I gave was an appreciation for the value of life. or a newfound understanding of Nuzlocke concept, perhaps even some delicious KFC. Well, you're all wrong. I gained prayer, the Lapras from this grateful employee over here. Carrying on Bruce Lee and Talon's final will, prayer destroys Giovanni's team, and Iron blasts him off with a mighty suck. Finally, I can challenge the gym. And what better way to start the gym off than with RNG puzzle mechanics? With all the recent Pokemon deaths lately, I was concerned that my team couldn't handle Sabrina's hard-hitting Psychic type. My remaining Pokemons aren't particularly strong, nor are they particularly effective against Psychic Pokemon. This is gonna be a hard fight. Oh wait, it's already over. Turns out, Psychic Pokemon generally have trash defense stat. Who knew Psychics were weak to punches? In my dandy travel to Cinnabar Island, I caught Mary, the horsey go around, and Magic Carpet, the Magikarp. I guess you could say it was a merry Magic Carpet ride. On the east side, we caught Squidward the Tentacle, who for some reason I thought was a squid instead of a jellyfish. Talk about embarrassing. I also got Derpy the Seal from a side trip to Seafoam Island. Quite the fitting name. I mean, look how derpy he is. While exploring a random broken down mansion, my captor decided to have a Koga incident. Thankfully, no Pokemon were lost in the making of this incident. Besides the coffee, of course. Remember Nuzlockers, always watch out for these dirty rats over here, or else risk having your own Koga incident. Secret key obtained. Given Blaine's a fire-type gym leader, I assembled a slightly sus water squad of Pokemon for the battle. And you thought that was sussy? Wait till you see me pick Tombstone as a real TM. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that my rare candy supply ran out right before the Blaine fight? What's the worst that could happen? Turns out, a single surf was enough to wipe Blaine's entire team. Guess it took one surf to rule them all. Huh, things don't always go wrong as expected. Now that was unexpected. Upon exiting the gym, our buddy old pal, Bill and I decided to invite us on a trip to the 7 Islands. To which I say, hell no. From a Nuzlocker's perspective, this was a horrible mistake, since I could get more Pokemon for the run. However, as you can see on the timer in the bottom left, I've been at this for a while, so I decided to skip it. What can I say? I have to get this run over with. Please, don't do this for your Nuzlocke runs. The Pokemon you capture will help. Don't be a fool like me, because well, I'd be out of the job in that case. By the wings of Dodrio, I descend upon Viridian City. And you guessed it, the elimination of my final obstacle in the gym challenge. Giovanni is mine. This is what everyone's been waiting for. The highly anticipated final showdown between me and the leader of Team Rocket himself. And Mary soloed his entire team with only Surf. Pretty anticlimactic ending, huh? But no need to fear, cause Victory Road is here. Oh, and this annoying prick I guess. One trivial rival encounter later. I arrived at the Integral Plateau, where I got badge checked. No worries, nothing's gonna stop me from clearing Victory Road. Nothing's gonna stop me from clearing Victory Road. I said, nothing's gonna stop me from clearing Victory Road. Nothing's gonna— oh, for the love of God, please stop badge checking me. I swear, this is like a club checking your clout before deciding whether or not to turn your way at the front door. Finally, now I'm at the overhyped rock tunnel and ready to move on with my life. I personally hate Victory Road because I always get lost, and this time is no exception. But first, let's talk about our final capture of the entire run, Mr. Chop, who I never used. Good talk. Eventually, I crawled my way out of that hellhole and into the next one, the Elite Four. I have arrived at the last and most dangerous part of a Nuzlocker's journey. At this point, every Nuzlocker should stop and begin assembling the final team. It's time to bust open your PC, look at your remaining Mons, and go, oh, I'm screwed. I realized two major flaws with my remaining options. One, none of my Pokemon can do super effective damage while taking neutral damage from Lorelei's team of Ice, Water, and Psychic type Pokemon. Normally, I use a generic special tanker like Snorlax, but we all remember what happened to Snorlax, don't we? 2, I don't really have a Pokemon that can handle Agatha, the Poison Elite Four. And yes, I mean poison. Normally ground type move would be a good answer, but 4/5 of her entire team are immune to ground type move. So, Psychic type Pokemon would be perfect here. Can all the Psychic type Pokemon here please raise your hand? I thought so. After some not so careful consideration, I decided on my final team. Musketeer, V, Prayer, Monkey, Squidward, and Ivan. Time to see how my dumpster fire of a team fared against Lorelei. Let me just say it now. Turns out my team wasn't even good enough to be considered dumpster fire, because the fire part implies some effectiveness against Lorelei's Ice-type Pokemon. The battle started off great, my team making quick work of Dugong, Slowbro, and Cloyster. One thing I really wish I knew before the fight was the fact our team has so many status moves. Gradually, the status conditions she inflicted on my team shifted the momentum of the fight in her favor. With some difficulty, Squidward eventually took Jinx down. Now here comes the difficult part of the fight, her ace, Lapras. By now things weren't looking too good for me. She had spikes set up, 2 of my Pokemon are too low HP to switch in, 2 more are taking a nap, and are not safe to switch in. The last 2 members do little to no damage to Lapras. I had Squidward screech for a potential Monkey switch in there, but Squidward just couldn't hold the fort for much longer. Honestly, things were looking pretty grim. However, I accounted for this exact situation ahead of time. How, you might ask? Well, it's because I ran into this exact situation back in Nuzlocke attempt number 2. I had Prayer keep Parasong for this exact moment. What I did account for was Prayer getting changed status so hard that Prayer wasn't even given a chance to get Parasong out. My bad for not playing around double missed confusion check and body slam paralysis. In desperation, I sent out Ivan for a small chance of using Leech Seed. Nope, rejected. Eventually, with a heavy heart, I made the decision to sack Squidward to give V a safe switch in, and pray I get lucky on crits. Let's be honest, this was a huge mistake on my part. I had completely forgotten about Squidward's last screech to set up for Monkey. This totally avoidable mistake costed me V. Classic new Nuzlocke mistake, losing a Pokemon they shouldn't have. With her Lapras weakened, I sent in Monkey to finish her job. Dear Nuzlockers, please don't lose your Snorlax to crit. Life would be so much easier if you just don't. Trust me, I walked away from this fight with 1/3 of my team gone. But hey, enough gloom and doom. Up next is the Bruno fight. The best part of the Elite Four run. The great thing about the Bruno fight is usually absolutely nothing happens. I even took out the worst Nuzlocke Pokemon, Hitmonchan, and Hitmonlee single-handedly. Musketeer avoided a potentially career-ending cross-talk before drilling Machamp to death. Screw Machamp! Do I even need to mention Cannon Fodder number 2? After kicking Bruno Mars to the side, we are confronted by Hagatha. Initially, I thought this fight was pretty doomed because 1/3 of my team is gone, and none of my Pokemon can do much against Poison and Ghost-type Pokemon. And guess what? I was right. Hagatha clobbered my team. In fact, at the end of the bout, Hagatha decided to style on me by switching out a Pokemon Monkey can't damage into another Pokemon Monkey can't damage just for the hell of it. What the hell, man? When did AI learn to BM people? Since our team was white, we will arrive at the end of our journey. The game over. At least, that is what was supposed to happen. But surprise! Since this is a video about how to not Nuzlocke a Pokemon game, I decided to give myself a second chance. Why? Because
grinding is cringe and cheating is based.
Okay. Before you bring out your pitchfork and torches, let me tell you the real reason. Frankly, this run just stopped being fun after a certain point, and I just want to move on. The most important thing for a Nuzlocke is having fun. Otherwise, why bother doing one in the first place? In my second attempt, I decided to challenge the Elite Four again with the exact same team, because I still think my current team is my best shot. Will I win my second try? Or is my run doomed to fail from the very beginning? Let's find out right now. Lorelei is up first, and Monkey Man takes out Dugong without fail. For Slowbro, I had Ivan set up Leech Seed, then proceeded to baton pass with my team Phantom Thief style until Monkey tombstoned him out of commission. V went ahead and shot Cloyster off the battlefield, with all the clowns out of the way. It's time to deal with the first real threat, Jinx. To combat this threat, I decided to cripple her for life early on. Jinx, however, decided paralysis was just a myth and proceeded to land all of her attacks. And to make matters worse, her attacks wasn't the only thing landing, but also her goddamn status moves, namely Attract and Freeze status. Also, as a cherry on top, Jinx succeeded on a confusion check for a confuse ray, and even snapped out of it early. Jesus Christ, how lucky can one Elite Four member get? Since Murphy's Law took this one moment to jump scare me, I lost Monkey. This wouldn't be a proper Nuzlocke if random BS like this didn't happen. Having had enough of her BS, I decided to BS my way through a status move in return and take down this menace to society. Now, it is time for the Lapras Showdown. Thankfully, this time Parasong actually went off.
Oh.
One mini heart attack later, the enemy Lapras finally perished. Talk about a close call. Our man Bruno is up once again, and you might ask, was it hard? Well, it's Bruno. Lapras start off by taking down public Nuzlocke enemy number 1, and Ivan will exceed expectations by cleanly sweeping through the rest of the team. Other than that, not much else to say here. Agatha. It's time for some revenge. Musketeer starts the fight off by demolishing the Gengar. Pray way ahead, and ice the Golbat out of the sky and drown Arbor. Schoolward dodge 2 Hypnosis aimed his way, then proceeds to blast Gengar into oblivion with water. In an unexpected turn of event, Haunter decided to quite literally curse us with his dying breath. Now that Grand's out of the way, it's Lancing time. The key to being Lance is to blast it with Ice-type move, and having an Electric-type Pokemon deal with his pesky Gyarados. So I did exactly just that. Hey Gyarados, it would be a shame if someone used a move that was time for effective against you. Pray to create 2 lovely Dragonair Ice Sculpture and send Aerodactyl into a second Ice Age. After another series of baton passes, our resident flying flightless bird struck down Dragonite from the skies. With the Elite Four done, it is now time to confront our rival, Jack, for the champion title. The champion fight is usually the final hurdle in a Nuzlocke, which means you no longer need to be conservative about your Pokemon. If sacrificing your entire team wins the board, then gladly send them into the afterlife. There is no time for sentimental mode. There is only victory. The fight begins with V striking down Bird Jesus with lightning from the heavens. Then, the evolution of the first Pokemon confronted the first Pokemon in a showdown to see who truly was the first Pokemon. Spoiler alert, Ivan won. The Pokemon with the 10,000 IQ point decided to slap itself silly one too many times before falling to Prayer's Surf. Unfortunately, despite our best effort, Musketeer loses his life to a bombing from Executor. In retaliation, Shore will show Executor what hell looks like when it freezes over. Squidward then proceeds to pay the ultimate price to get V a safe switching into Gyarados. Upon V's entering the field, Gyarados went into shock, effectively ending his battle career. With a final thundering roar, V declared victory over Charizard, concluding this Nuzlocke run. Now onward to the Hall of Fame and closing thoughts. I thought this wasn't a proper Nuzlocke clear because of sussy behavior. I hope you enjoyed it and learned from it. Now, it's time for my spiel on stuff you should do that I didn't do. Don't get too attached to any of your Pokemon, including your starter. In my run, I tried my best to not lose any Pokemon no matter the situation, and I ended up losing more Pokemon than I actually should. Also, if you decide to Nuzlocke any Gen 3 and below game, make sure to learn the pre-physical special split, or else you too might lose a Snorlax. Lastly, make sure to capture Pokemon in every area whenever possible. These extra Pokemon from an area could be a difference maker in a Nuzlocke. And that, my fools, is how to not Nuzlocke a Pokemon game. Also, before you go, don't forget to subscribe, give a like, or leave a comment if you liked the video. See ya!